During the summer holidays, I went to Flamingo Land Resort in the beautiful land of Yorkshire. I was only there for one day, but I was able to get on 9 of the 10 coasters. And the only reason I couldn't ride all of them was because I wasn't tall enough to ride Go Gator. Wait, tall enough? Anyway, this will be my full in-depth review of Flamingo Land and why it could have been good, but sadly wasn't.
1, 2, 3, 4.
My first problem with the park is that all the coasters hurt in some way, shape or form. Kaale gives headbanging, though I admit it wasn't that bad. 6 barrel rolls are uncomfortable, Velocity is overall uncomfortable. Hero is not bad, but still not great. Dino Roll was uncomfortable, Runaway Mine Train was rough. Zoom was uncomfortable, Mumbo Jumbo was okay. Twistosaurus was fire. But to be serious, I'm not one to be bothered by roughness. I do complain about it, but I'm not as bothered as I make out to be. That being said, Velocity wasn't very good. It wasn't that it was terrible, it was just surprisingly rough. I know it's technically an old Vekoma, but it just looks smoother with the track design. And also, the layout did next to nothing. I know Rita is also criticised for doing nothing, but I heavily disagree. Sure, Velocity has some positives, but Rita has more. Rita is basically just a much better version of Velocity in every single way. Sick was pretty decent. The first half of the ride was fine, and it felt good to go upside down with a lap bar again, though it didn't do too much. The barrel rolls, though, were a lot. I didn't know what it would feel like, and I wasn't expecting being full-on launched towards the ground. Overall, I wasn't very impressed at first, but it did grow on me as I rode it more. Kaale was a lot smoother than expected. The first front row ride was basically B&M invert smooth. The second ride was worse, but it still wasn't terrible. Actually, my complaint with the ride is that it was forceless. I guess it's because I'm used to balls to the walls intense suspended coasters. Even the standard SLCs were pretty intense, as rough as they were, and Kaale just wasn't. Mumbo Jumbo was surprisingly good. I thought it was going to be rough, but it really wasn't. My favourite bit of the ride was the hang time dive loop, though the rest of the ride was a tad forceless, maybe a bit of laterals. Hero, though, it wasn't bad. I'll say that. I'm sorry, please don't kill me. I think that when you're at a certain height, the ride is fine because you match up with the step rungs and you are able to wedge yourself into the padding. I think that I was just the right height for it because my friend Bradley, who is taller than me, didn't like it, and somebody else in my group who was shorter than me, she didn't enjoy it, and another person who's the same height as me also didn't enjoy it, but it was fine for them. That being said, the ride still wasn't good. It was pretty forceless. You're seeing a theme here. And it wasn't worth the 60-minute wait for the ride, and that was the longest wait of the day, by far. The kids' coasters range from decent for what they are, to rough and incredibly uncomfortable. My 50th coaster credit, I don't know whether the new Nemesis counts as a credit or not. The Runaway Mine Train, wrong one, was pretty bad, even for a kiddie coaster. The others weren't terrible. Dino Roller and Zoom were a tad uncomfortable, but that's just my size. And Twistosaurus was just fine. These aren't for my target audience, but they still weren't amazing. They just looked plopped down on a plot of land with no thought. Twistosaurus and Zoom literally had no station cover. If you're going to add a kiddie coaster to the park, I feel like you really should do it well to encourage kids. Runaway Mine Train looks amazing for a kiddie coaster, and I feel like that had some real thought put into it, unlike everything at Flamingo Land. The only other rides I did were Cliffhanger and a random Ferris wheel themed to Dan. Cliffhanger was decent, but had painful operations, like the rest of the park, but we'll get to that in a sec. And the Ferris wheel was actually okay. I got some good reviews of the zoo and Kaale, so overall, pretty good. So, the rides weren't amazing, but none of them, except for Orlando Mine Train, were terrible. Operations, though, were rubbish. All of the coasters, except for Hero and Mumbo Jumbo, were only running one train. And Kaale wasn't even running that. It was running half a train. Although, at least everything was open for me. My friend Bradley went a couple weeks before I did, and Velocity was shut for him. Now, let's talk about atmosphere and theming. This park isn't a theme park, it is an amusement park. With that in mind, the theming that is there sucks. It's just so bare. It's not like Blackpool where everything is packed together, and it still feels right. Flamingo Land just feels so disjointed, and nothing outside of Dino Valley or Lost Kingdom feels like it fits. The area of Metropolis, for example, feels bare and incredibly incohesive. There's no external theming outside of the rides, and even then, most of the rides have no theming whatsoever except Sick, which has its rave, which is fun. And whatever cars those are, I don't really know what they are, but they look pretty decent. But I have no footage for them, so I can't really show you them, sorry. The area of Kaale and Mumbo Jumbo have next to nothing, but at least they attempted it. The entrances have some decent rock work, but outside of that, there is nothing except maybe some shops, which I didn't really see many. I think there's just one for like Kaale photos. Look, I know that the park has minimal budget, but maybe instead of getting big new coasters, sick, the owners should give the park a big glow up. I like when parks aren't bare. Even Blackpool Pleasure Beach, it doesn't have any trees, but it still looks nice. Even though everything is old and decrepit, it still looks decent because everything feels like there's no bare space, which I've started to not like in theme parks. So, for the conclusion, I am sorry how negative I've been in this video, but it's hard to talk about a park that made you sort of want to question whether you wanted to keep pursuing this hobby. Fortunately, I did start to change my mind halfway through the day. I think that it just felt a lot nice. I think I was just tired. That's probably what I was. Although, one good thing that did come out of my visit, outside of the credits, wasn't actually to do with the park itself. It was how much it made me appreciate Disneyland Paris. I actually wish I went to Flamingo Land first, because I think that would have actually made me appreciate the theming and the landscaping and just how nice Disney looked. It just made me appreciate Disneyland a lot more for what it was, a highly themed experience, and I wish I wasn't so negative about it in my review, though I do feel like my point still stood to an extent. Go watch it top right. So, I'm sorry Disney, and I wish I could go again, especially to do Hyperspace Mountain, because I feel like that would boost my opinion of the park quite a bit. So, anyway, Flamingo Land could have been good, but it just missed the mark. I feel like the park just needs, like, a big glow up, and after that, a new coaster maybe, like an RMC Raptor, or maybe even an iBox, but the Raptor would definitely be cheaper. Or if they got some more, like, maybe financial backing, I would love to see anything mega. That would be insane. Like, Conda in the UK would be my dream, like, genuinely. So, anyway, for my score, I'm going to give Flamingo Land a 5 out of 10. At the end of the day, I did enjoy my time at the park. It was just not up to scratch with some of the other parks in the UK, especially like Thorpe Park, Alton Towers, and I wish to get to more a bit like that, like Poulton's. I'd love to go there, Drayton Manor, but yeah, it just wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed my review, and once again, sorry for being negative. If you got this far, then please may you like, comment, and subscribe, and maybe even just watch another video of mine, because that would really help me. and like it would let the algorithm know that, hey, this guy's makes decent content. So yeah, see you in the next video. Goodbye.